Welcome to Las Vegas.
At the line of scrimmage.
Run again, rejected. Absolute bulldozer. He is bouncing off defenders and dragged down. And Max.
0-1 in the air to deep left. Houston, you do have a problem. His name is the Big Amish.
This kid is incredible.
Dumps it in. Stewart juggles, catches. 6 seconds left. Stewart with 5. Draws the double. Laney to the corner. Vandersloot. No! And that is it! An unforgettable finish to Game 4. A resilient conclusion to a remarkable season for the Las Vegas Aces. And for the first time in 21 years, the WNBA has a back-to-back champion. The Aces on top yet again.
Welcome back to the Pints and Parlays podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Aaron, still coming to you live from the Boulder Station Racing Sportsbook.
I'm actually at my house still. Next week, I'll be in New Hampshire when we do this. The following week, I'll be in Miami. And then I'll be somewhere else. But as of right now, I'm at home. Let's recap a little bit. Last week, NFL did not go very smooth for me and Aaron. College went great for me, and college went great for Aaron, but NFL did not treat us very
It was
well.
definitely rough. Oh, my goodness.
Last night, though, if you guys are following us on Instagram, I put up my picks. My picks went 5-0. I had the Packers on the money line. Jaden Daniels over 22.5 completions, and Josh Jacobs over 18.5 rushing attempts. And then I had the Padres money line, and I had the Mariners money line. You watched the Mariner game at all last night. That Mariners Angels game was pretty wild in the extra innings, but somehow they pulled out a walk-off with one of their top prospects, Harry Ford. So, yeah, I had a 5-0 slate last night. I'm up to, I think I'm overall, with the picks I've given out, I'm 20. I have it tracked. Hold on. I am 26-15. So not too shabby on my part.
I didn't put my picks out, but yesterday I had Green Bay on the point spread, which they covered, but I also had the over, which missed by 4 points. So I had 49. So I went 1-1 last
I feel
night.
I feel like if Washington would have scored at all in the beginning of that game, that you probably hit that over pretty easy.
Yeah, because I mean, they played great in the second half, but the first half they were just like all over the place. They couldn't get a good handle of the ball, and Green Bay was doing what Green Bay does. And then you got Micah Parsons. He was in the backfield a lot. I think I just barely missed that over. But overall, I'm still around 500. I'm not keeping too much track. I need to go ahead and reassess my situation for my picks. But I'm around the 500 area.
Aaron is about to be 0-1. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, he's about to add another L to his record this week when he loses to me in fantasy. So
we're not talking about that, okay?
Hey, I looked at the projections. It is 50-50 at the moment. So
anything can happen. Like it is the NFL after all.
Anything can happen. I'm gonna pull it up so people can see.
So let's just go ahead and get this out there real quick. Aces have won 16 in a row. Congratulations, ladies. And then what was the stats? Or what'd you have for A'ja Wilson there, Mike?
Oh, she was just named Associated Press Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. So I would assume if she wins those, she's probably going to clean house and win MVP also. So congrats to the Aces. It won 16 in a row since we started our podcast, and we're now on episode 7. I did go to a game when they played the Sky at T-Mobile Arena. They won by about 30. I left. They won by like 25 points.
Like, okay,
Sky,
this is an Aces win.
I can only stand watching women's basketball enough. Aces games are entertaining. It is Vegas. They put on a really good show, and the team is really good. So I'm not giving it any slack on that end. But I mean, when the Sky couldn't hit anything in the realm of anything, I just kind of like, all right, it's time to go.
Right. But we want to wish Aces good luck. They are currently the number 2 seed in the WNBA for the playoffs coming up. So we'll keep you posted on how they do throughout there.
Right now, Aaron. Hold on. Right now, Aaron, I'm projected to beat you by 2.9 points. So
that's not gonna happen.
So, like you said, anything can happen. It's a 50-50 shot. I mean, you had nobody play on your team last night. I mean, you didn't play Debo. He was on your bench.
Yeah, I had 17 points from Debo. If I'd have played him, I probably would be projected to win.
Hey, yeah.
But it is what it is. I didn't start him because I wasn't sure how well he was going to do against the Packers D, and that proved me wrong. So,
Sean, our buddy Sean, just commented on our Instagram live that he said put in a parlay this weekend of Buxton Eagles money line.
Well, I don't agree with that Bucks part because fuck the Bucks. We'll get into that later when we get into the NFL.
Oh, he also said that he went to the Sky game also, and he said that he thinks a squad of decent high school boys could have run both those teams into the ground.
Oh boy.
I told you that game was not entertaining at all. The Aces look good. The other team, they put on a good show. I won't lie. And T-Mobile was pretty full. I mean, I would say for basketball, I think it holds like 19,000. I would say there's probably about 14 in there. It was pretty full. It wasn't bad.
Pretty good crowd for an Aces game.
Yeah, I had a good crowd. Like the last time I went to a game in T-Mobile was pretty empty. So it's pretty nice to see that. But I think a lot of people wanted to watch Angel Reese miss layups, but that didn't happen.
Right.
Because she didn't play. So
yeah.
But let's dive in a little bit. Oh, shout out to UNLV for being 3-0 and taking care of UCLA last week. Aaron won his $100. Aaron won that $100 on his side bet. Did you get paid yet?
Oh yeah, he paid me that night because I left during the third quarter because were up 23-3. I'm like, shit, and I had to work the next day, so I came back early, and then they coasted the victory. So yep, I got paid the same day.
That game got a little nerve-wracking towards the end.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there still watching it at the bar drinking. I'm like, oh no, did I leave too soon? Because I felt like once I leave, then they started letting UCLA start to score some points. I'm like, damn it, I should have stayed.
Well, I mean, if you had the over, if you had the under, you started sweating because I think it closed at 54.5. So 30-23 was right on the number. If you had the over, you felt like you had an outsider chance to hit, and it just it didn't come through on that end.
You were looking at a backdoor cover, that's for sure.
So, what do you call it? Do you want to start with the NFL slate, or do you want to go to college? What do you want to start with?
Well, I don't have any college picks this week. This week is kind of shitty for college. So if you want to go ahead and run with yours, I'll support you on whatever you got, man. With the way college went for me last week, I still was finished 2-1, but I can't do it. Not this week. It's too difficult.
I'm gonna drop my full college slate tonight after this podcast is done. There's a bunch of games on there. If you guys want to bet straight bet, parlay, however you guys want to play them. We don't, since the slate's not very good this week, we don't have to really dive into college. We can focus more on the NFL. You know, with UNLV being on a bye, the excitement's not really there for me to watch much college this weekend. If you are betting tonight, I would take Colorado to money line to win. So,
and just a quick refresher: if you are in town, Boulder Station is going to be having the Canelo Crawford fight on tomorrow night on the big screen in the sportsbook. No charge. I don't know if any of y'all out there are boxing fans. I'm not really, but it should be an interesting bout. So, yeah, you can actually go to any stations. They should be showing it.
I don't think anybody. I mean, it'd be kind of fucked up if people were charging for that fight, considering it's free on Netflix.
That's true. But you never know, some assholes out there that might try.
I mean, there are places out there like my former employer. I'm not going to name names, but my former employer would probably try to charge people to watch a free fight. So we'll see what's out there. But
I'll put it out
that's
there
a whole. That's just a whole different conversation for another day.
Yeah. Let's go knock out our baseball, actually, though, because we got some games going to be starting here shortly.
Oh, yeah, so we can knock out baseball a little bit. Tonight, for me, my baseball plays, I like Detroit, first 5. They have Skubal on the mound against Sandy Alcantara. Detroit's looking to bounce back after a rough series. Actually, no, they were pretty dominant series in New York. They did get roughed up last night, though. So, a little bounce back spot with their ace on the mound. I like them first 5 innings, even with Sandy pitching better lately. I like the Red Sox tonight because obviously fuck the Yankees, but that's just my opinion. But the Red Sox, but on a betting standpoint, the Red Sox are 8-2 against New York this year. Giolito is pitching against against Heel. Heel has been up and down since he's returned from the IL. So I like the Red Sox in the spot. The Red Sox, the game is at Fenway Park. Red Sox have been very dominant at Fenway Park this year. I think they have the best home record in the MLB, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it's right up there with the top 3. Yeah, they're 44-28 at home. So it's very rare that they lose at Fenway Park. They've been very dominant, which it looks like it's the third best home record in all the major leagues.
Plus, y'all are what, 2 and 3, or 2 out of 3 so far for series wins against the Yankees?
Right. And these games mean something. This whole series, if you're looking at it from a playoff perspective, the Red Sox are lining up to pitch their 3 best pitchers. They're pitching Giolito tonight, they're pitching Bayo tomorrow, and they're pitching Crochet on Sunday. They know how much the
series. New York, yeah, for sure. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
No, you're good. It's exactly right. They're half a game behind New York. If they can take all 3 and be dominant like they have been most of the season against New York, they can pretty much bury New York and make that wild card game. If they don't end up catching Toronto, make that wild card series happen at Fenway Park. That would be ideal for them. You don't really want to go into a 3-game series trying to take 2 out of 3 on the road at Yankee Stadium. Even though they have had success there this year and in the years past, you kind of ideally don't want that. And then lastly, I like Jacob deGrom in the Rangers first 5. deGrom is returning to New York. He's going to pitch against the Mets at Citi Field. I don't know if he's done that since he's left New York. I would assume not, because he missed most of last season with injury. In the year before that, I think he faced them in Texas when they won the World Series. So the Rangers have been very hot. Also, they're now 2 games back of Houston and Seattle, and they've won 6 straight. So those are my 3. Red Sox full game money line, Tigers first 5 with Skubal, and Rangers first 5 with Jacob deGrom.
Okay, and so I'm going to piggyback off Mike a little bit. I agree with the Tigers first 5 because Skubal's having another Cy Young type season. If he keeps this up, he is the betting favorite for the AL. So if he keeps up on pace, that should be an easy W. I, again, like the Red Sox at Fenway. They've been smashing the Yankees here as of late. And with the chase coming up, I think the Red Sox are going to give them everything that they got. And so I do think that the Red Sox will take the Yankees there. My only opposite is, well, not opposite, but just a different pick. I like the White Sox and Guardians to go over tonight because Cleveland's got BB going. His ERA is 4.69, and the White Sox have Perez going. His ERA is 3.15, a total of 7.5. I think you just get a couple of guys on base, and that over is going to just kind of it could be a 4-4 game, and it's still going to hit it. Obviously, they'd have to go into extras, but still, either team can easily start taking a heavy lead, and then you just get a couple extra runs. just with pitchers with such high ERAs. So those are my 3 picks. I got Tigers versus 5, Red Sox money line, and over in the White Sox and Guardians game.
So let's dive into the NFL slate. Week 1 was very interesting. You know, like we mentioned a little bit, the Raiders season, in our opinion, was going to see how they play in New England, and they won that game in the rain. They grinded it out. They came back. The Patriots had a halftime lead. Genty didn't even really play very well, and Geno was able to lead them to victory. So I think that's high hopes on their season. Like we kind of mentioned, they were kind of our surprise pick, you know, going 8-9 somewhere around there. But I think their defense looked a lot better than what they were given credit for. We did call that Jets and Steelers game right. That game flew over. I think it was almost over by halftime. You know, the 37 or whatever it was very, very low. And I think they had like 35 combined in the first half.
Yeah, they damn near took the whole thing in the first half. Like, it was unbelievable. Both teams were just playing great. The defense not so much, but the offenses were flying. That game was interesting. It definitely could have taken a turn for the Jets had they not had that one shitty call on third down, and I think it was 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2, where they let Justin Fields handle the situation. He didn't handle it, and they got stopped. But had they not done that, then the Jets could have easily taken that game. It was definitely one for probably the best game, in my opinion, of the week. Well,
no, the Bills and Ravens was the best game of the week.
I'd take that back. Second best game of the week, I think. Second best.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about last week a little bit. We thought the Dolphins would play a lot better. Tua inside, and they looked like an absolute dumpster fire. They made Daniel Jones look like a actual capable starting quarterback in the NFL, which is kind of shocking, but you know, not surprising. The Panthers laid an egg. Kind of thought they would show up. The Lions laid an egg also. The Texans and Rams game was pretty boring. I mean, if you like defensive games, it was, you know, 14-9, pretty boring. The Vikings-Bears game Monday night was pretty good, though.
Yeah, and then, because, I mean, the Vikings-Bears, you had the fourth quarter comeback by J.J. McCarthy. When I was first looking at it, it was 17-6. I was like, okay, so this rookie's not going to live up to the hype. But then all of a sudden, in the fourth quarter, he came alive, and they won the game outright, which was crazy. So, I don't know. Week 2 is going to be a little bit more, I think some of it's going to be difficult and some of it's going to be okay. Because, I mean, you got a lot of shit games. Like, you got Carolina at Arizona. All right, I wouldn't touch that game with a 50-foot pole just because both teams aren't very good. I like Pittsburgh to cover against Seattle. I think Aaron Rodgers.
We're going in this week now?
Sorry. No, not yet. Sorry. Okay, what other games did you want to talk about last week? My bad. I'm kind of jumping.
Oh, no, we're good. I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same boat. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with going in next week.
Okay, yeah. So I'm looking at the Pittsburgh-Seattle game. So I kind of want to see what Aaron Rodgers is going to do against Sam Darnold. It's going to be interesting to see if it's the same Rodgers from last week. But I do like Pittsburgh to cover. I think their spread is 3.5. Let me check real quick.
Here, what game are you talking about? Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh and Seattle.
Here, I'll put this up.
Yeah, Pittsburgh right now is -3.5 against the Seahawks. So I like them, or at least that's what I got.
A lot of money coming in on Steelers money line and spread. 88% of the bets right now are on Pittsburgh. 72% of the money.
All right, so I'm taking the favorite there a little bit, I guess. What game do you like?
I like the over in this game. I think it's going to be very high scoring. 40.5 is too low in my opinion. The Steelers offense showed that they can score with anybody. It could be Aaron Rodgers look good. It's his home debut. I would expect a lot of points. I also think that Seattle's going to score more than they did last week. It's just gonna. I think it's going to be a better game than people think. You know, if it's 24-21, that game goes over. I mean, I'm not asking for a 36-35, you know, like it was last week, but you know, 24-20, 24-21, 28-17. You know,
yeah, there's a lot of ways that game could go over.
Yeah, I think 40.5 is way too low. I have an upset pick. If you want me to say it now, I like Chicago against Detroit. Detroit did not look good, and I saw a stat that if Jared Goff without Ben Johnson and or Sean McVay calling plays, if he has any other coordinator, he's like 0-18 against the spread, and he just does not perform very well. He did not. Their offense looked horrible last week. The Bears look good.
They're taking the Bears on the +6.5.
No, I'm taking Bears straight up. I think the Bears win. That's my upset pick of the week. I like Bears money line. You can take +6.5 if the money line scares you. Money line right now, as you can see, sitting around 230. But if you want to feel more comfortable and take 6.5, you're getting a lot of points. I think Caleb looked fine. He's been getting a lot of slack on social media, but I think Caleb Williams looked perfectly fine. I think the play calling was a little erratic by Ben Johnson, and the clock management was terrible towards the end of that game. I don't know if he was ready for the spotlight, but Ben Johnson's gonna, this is also a point for Ben Johnson to prove that he belongs as a head coach, and he could get his first win against his former team. So I think it's a good spot if you're looking at it from that perspective as well to get for an upset pick. And I like the Bears straight up, but if you guys feel more comfortable taking the +6.5, take the +6.5 there.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and dive into one of the biggest games of Sunday, which is gonna be the repeat of the Super Bowl, Chiefs and Eagles. Honestly, just with the way that the Chiefs played against the Chargers, I don't know if they could beat the Eagles. Honestly, I think maybe even let's see here. Are the Chiefs a favorite or is it the Eagles?
1.5 Eagles.
Yeah, I'd say that the Eagles should cover that. I mean, obviously you got Saquon. I mean, Worthy's only had one. He had one target. I don't even know if he caught the ball.
Worthy was knocked out in the first quarter on the first drive by Travis Kelce.
Sure that, yeah. So
he's not going to play. He's been ruled out already. Right. So
so you take away their speed with him. So I mean, you're pretty much going to be relying on Kelce and the run game. I mean, granted, Kelce is a great player, but without Worthy there to worry about speed, they can kind of keep a better eye on him.
I'm actually the opposite of you. I like Kansas City in this spot. I think it is a Super Bowl rematch. It's a revenge factor. The game's in KC. They did not look very good last week in Brazil against the Chargers. The offense looks stagnant. I think they're going to play a lot better. You're going to get a better version of Patrick Mahomes. I feel this is a spot the Chiefs should win. I like the Chiefs money line, especially if you can get them at plus money. I just think it's a slight home dog with a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. I don't care who he's throwing to. Brady proved that. Brady proved that it didn't matter if he had a bunch of white wide receivers or he had Randy Moss. It doesn't matter. It's all about how quarterbacks. I mean, it's the truth. And if Mahomes wants to be in that conversation with Tom Brady, I think he has to prove that he can win games without wide receivers. And this is the point to prove it. And, I actually like him for some props in this game. I like him over the two props I like in this game. I think you're going to see a more higher dosage of Saquon Barkley. I think he goes over 18.5 carries. I just think he's probably going to get 20, 25 carries in this game. Keep clock control, keep Mahomes off the field. I think you're going to see him a lot more. And then I like Mahomes over 23.5 completions. I think that's low. I think if the Chiefs want to win, they're going to have to establish Mahomes in that passing game early. And I think 23, he's going to fit. I think, in my opinion, he's going to finish between 27 to 28 completions. Especially if the game's tight, you're going to have him throwing the football. They're not going to hand the ball off to Pacheco and Hunt. So I think 23.5 over 23.5 in that as well.
Okay, and then so another one I want to talk about is Buffalo and the Jets. What do you think there?
I like Buffalo money line. I'm worried about the point spread. It is a little high with them being on the road. The Jets look more than capable of being able to cover 6.5 point spread, especially being at home. The offense looked fine. The Bills didn't get it going until late in that game against Baltimore, so that worries me a little bit. I do think the Bills are a better team. I have a hot take, though, if we want to wait till after our picks are done about this game.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think Sean McDermott's on the hot seat. I think he's one of those guys that can't get it done in the playoffs. And if they get to a point where they lose early again, I think he can be fired. And I think a lot of the reasons why the Bills haven't got there yet, the same thing with the Bengals and Zach Taylor. I think he's a hot seat take as well. You have good enough teams to beat Mahomes. You just don't beat them. And I think with better coaching, if they had, I'm just throwing this out there, not saying it would ever happen, but if Harbaugh had a team like Buffalo had last year with Josh Allen, with the level that Josh Allen played, he probably beats Mahomes. So I think, McDermott's a good coach, but he's just not an elite coach. And I think that, Buffalo wants to get over that hump. They're going to have to bring somebody in to get them there. And I don't think McDermott is it.
Yeah, and we talked about this too before. We talked about Sean McVay and the Rams on if he's going to go ahead and depart after this year, as you stated that he's not interested in a rebuild. What do you think there?
If Buffalo lets go McDermott, has a chance to go get McVay, that McVay would be a perfect fit. McVay could win a Super Bowl the way he did with Stafford. Imagine what he could do with a young quarterback like Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, I mean Josh Allen's obviously an elite quarterback. So you give Sean McVay's offensive mind with a quarterback like Josh Allen, man, that could be music. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens later in the season for the head coaching positions.
It's the same thing with Cincy. I know it's a little ramble off topic, but like Cincinnati, it's the same thing. If they have a better coach than Zach Taylor, I think that Cincinnati beats McVay in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think Burrow and Chase and them are in a lot better spot. But that's just my opinion. It's the same thing in Miami. Miami's coaching is a dumpster fire.
Yeah. It was I mean, to not put up any points against the Colts last week, that's unbelievable. Like, you can't get in the end zone once or even a field goal. Like, it was crazy.
Well, if we want to talk about their game this week, since we're talking about Miami plays the Patriots this week. Miami's a 2.5 point favorite over the Patriots right now. Money line's about -130. It is not a very good look when you have a players only meeting after week 1.
Yeah, that definitely calls into question how behind their coaching staff they are.
Yeah, and I think that it's an issue, and I think that it's going to continue to be a problem. I mean, they're already talking about trying to trade Tyreek Hill. He has another domestic violence issue coming up again. We talked about it in our preview. Can Tua stay healthy? Clearly not. I mean, it doesn't matter if he is or not. The play calling was so bad in week 1 that you had players complaining on the sideline. Waddle, I don't even know. Did Waddle play? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was not. No, but you know what I mean? He was like non-existent. Tyreek Hill complaining to the coordinators on the side. Like, it's just a complete mess. I think that team has zero respect for Mike McDaniel, and I think the Patriots that aren't as bad of a team as they looked against the Raiders. I think they're going to play a lot better, and this may be a spot the Patriots steal one. I have no play because I'm staying away from this game. I don't like it, but it is a spot the Patriots steal one.
I know for me, it's not much of an upset, but this is my upset pick. I like the Patriots against the Dolphins. Like, the Dolphins were just so atrocious last week. I think maybe Drake May pulls it a little bit out of his head out of his ass a little bit. I think they play better. I think that the offense is going to step up. So that's that. I mean, like I said, it's not much of an underdog pick because it's only -2.5. But I'd take the money line on the Patriots. I think that they're going to pull it out. And then when going back to the Jets, Buffalo, I like the Jets +6.5. I think Buffalo wins outright, but I think that spread might be just a little high yet. Because Justin Fields looked good. Like I said, there were some questionable play calls in the game against Pittsburgh, but still, like, they look too good for him to be a -6 or a +6.5 underdog.
Yeah, I agree. If I had another upset pick of the week. Hey, speaking of upset picks, the Bengals won somehow last week.
Yeah, I was not expecting that because it wasn't looking good at first, and they did only win by 2, but still, like they pulled it out, so they ended their streak of going 0-2 from the last 6 seasons. So I guess that's an upside to the Bengals.
If I had a game I liked, I mean, this is not a pick for me, but if I had a game that I would throw on, bet last minute maybe to try to get a better number, because I don't like the number here, because 11.5 is a very strange number. It's not 10, but it's not 14, so it's just in a very odd spot.
Oh, for the Ravens-Brown game?
I think the Ravens are going to bounce back and absolutely hammer the Browns.
Well, has Cleveland decided they're going to try a different quarterback this week, or are they going to stick
Flacco
with
Flacco? Flacco didn't play bad. In my opinion, Flacco didn't play bad. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 31 for 45, 290 yards, a touchdown and a pick. 2 picks.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, the 2 picks is what really hurt them. They could have ended up winning that game by a bunch had them picks not happened. But I mean, it is what it is.
I think there was some crazy number I saw. I think it said the Bengals had I need to see it. The Bengals only had 141 yards of offense.
Huh.
And they still won.
Yeah. So that means that those 2 picks were probably the deciding factor. Had he even not thrown one of them, they probably would have won.
I mean, if you look at if we're just talking about the Bengals in the second half, this is their drives. Punt, field goal, punt, 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 punt. They did nothing in the second half.
And the Browns still lost.
Yeah.
So you got to ask yourself, where was the weakness? Was it at the coaching position? Was it quarterback? Was it offense not putting? I mean, obviously Flacco had almost 250 yards. So obviously he was getting it done. It was just there was a lack of.
The Bengals had 7. The Bengals had 7 yards of offense in the second half against the Browns.
Jesus Christ! How do you not win that game?
It was the fewest yards gained by a winning team in the last 25 seasons. The Bengals were outgained 327 to 141 and had 20. Browns had 22 first downs. Bengals had 7 yards in the second half, and the Browns defense is going to keep them in games. But
it's just going to have to step up somewhere.
I think that it's a spot where Baltimore is just they're going to be pissed that they blew that big lead that they had against the Bills, and they are going to take it out on the Browns.
But also, with it being 11.5, do the Browns maybe improve on what they played against the Bengals? I know that they lost, but they have good numbers. So do the numbers improve against Baltimore? Does the defense kind of hone in on Lamar Jackson? I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. I don't want to touch it just because it's.
I didn't touch it either because I don't like the number. Yeah. But if I were to if it went down to 10, maybe I would look at it. but like 11 and it opened at 12 and a half, and I think they thought it was going to go to 14, and it didn't, and it's been stuck in it's been stuck at 11 and a half because I think people took the buy down, but it hasn't been enough money to move that line. So it's just a very odd spot. The last game I have on my picks that are not player props, all my player props will be posted. I'm not going to talk about them all, but
yeah, because we could be here forever if that happens.
Yeah, I like the Vikings on the money line against Atlanta. I think Atlanta is atrocious. I think that Penix played fine, but I think that Minnesota at home. Minnesota's hard to beat in Minnesota. They didn't really get much.
They're coming off that fourth quarter win against the Bears, so they should be on a adrenaline high from that.
Yeah, it's a Sunday night game too, so which is a surprise to me, but it is what it is. I thought the Eagles and Chiefs would be, but
the Vikings Bears just came off a Monday night game, so you would think that they would have given the primetime Sunday game to somebody else, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so I like the Vikings.
And then, so I'm actually going to talk about the 2 Monday night games. So you got the Bucks and Texans in the first game at 4:00. Okay, so the Bucks have started 2-0 in the last 4 seasons, but the Texans are 5-1 against the Bucks and have not lost them at home. So obviously, everybody's got a little bit of bias, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the stats for my Texans. I think the Texans are going to bounce back. They had that last-minute fumble against the Rams, which cost them the game because they were driving. They could have won that game easily. I think, CJ didn't play atrociously, but I think if there's some other decisions made, I think they should be able to take the Buccaneers, no problem. So I'm going to take the Texans on the points, -2.5. And then we got
Aaron, hold on. I got a question for you. Non-biased take here, okay? Is Baker Mayfield the better quarterback in this game?
No.
I don't know about that. I think Baker's better than CJ, but that's just my opinion. I think Baker doesn't get enough credit.
Younger, he's got better legs, and he's got a better arm. Honestly, he's more accurate. Last year, he led it was like a 36-second touchdown to win the game against the Bucks last season. I think CJ is the better quarterback. Non-biased, honest opinion. And then we got the Las Vegas Raiders against the Chargers at the Monday night game. So my question to you is, do the Chargers repeat the play that they played against the Chiefs? Or do you think the Raiders have a shot at winning this one? Do you think Genty bounces back? Because in their game against New England, he had less than 3 yards per carry. It was not a very good showing for Genty. So what do you think? Do you think he bounces back or?
My original play was the Raiders, but I backed off of it. Remember we talked about last week, teams coming back from the East Coast don't typically do well against the spread. I think the Chargers looked great against the Chiefs. I think they're only going to get better. I do think Genty plays better. I think the Chargers defense is better than the Patriots defense, but I think you're going to see a different dynamic. I think Chip Kelly went to Genty, went away from Genty, went to Genty, and I don't think Genty was able to get into a flow of the offense. And since they were trailing, I think Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers absolutely torched the Patriots, especially Bowers. I don't like it from a sense that Brock Bowers may not play. So if you take a weapon away from Geno, there is going to be more focus on Genty. Does it change? I'm not sure, but I like the Chargers here. I think they covered a 3.5, but if it's a safer bet,
I agree. I think because it's just the way that the Chargers dismantled the Chiefs. That was definitely unexpected. The Chargers were good last year, but they just played their asses off against the Chiefs. And obviously the Chiefs are on paper a better team than the Raiders. So I agree. I think the Chargers should cover the spread. Do I think Las Vegas or the Raiders play better? Probably, but I just think the Chargers are going to be too much for them. I don't think they'll be able to handle them.
Yeah, without Bauer, if Bowers was playing, I think I would feel more comfortable saying to take to take.
Is he out or is he still questionable?
I'm looking right now.
Because I think what I saw this morning was that he was still. It hasn't been.
He hasn't practiced all week, but Carroll says he's gonna play, but he didn't practice today again. So I'm not really sure, but that also opens the question: if he does play, how effective is he gonna be?
Right.
If he's injured, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he healthy? Is he not healthy? Is he out? If he plays, is he a decoy? Like, it kind of throws off your whole dynamic of how you're going to call the game from Chip Kelly's perspective. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see. There is if we're looking at it, if we want to dive in a little bit on Vegas stuff before we hop off. No, the A's Stadium is coming along very nicely. If you guys have not seen the construction feed, they've started to get concrete laid. There's elevator shafts. Looks like they're going up. They're making a ton of progress. People think they're just moving dirt, but they're not. Like, they're doing a great job.
Together. Now, do we think when was this supposed to open? It was supposed to open in 2027, right? Or is it 2028?
2028.
Okay. Well, with the progress that they're making, honestly, like, I can see that it might possibly be completely full or finished before the 2028 season. So I don't know. We'll keep you posted on that. Because Mike, you were showing me pictures earlier. It's looking pretty good for considering.
I'm not worried about them being ready to go. I think they'll be fine. I think that people got, with COVID and everything that happened and how quickly they built Allegiant, I think the times were different. But keep in mind that project took 2 years. They broke ground on this in March, so that'll be 3 years. Like, not really much of a difference. It's not like it's projected to take 5 or 6 at this point.
Right, so, and they don't really have to rush to try to meet the deadline.
No, like you mentioned in the opening, the Aces and Asia Wilson just been on fire. The Aviators have kind of cooled off. The Aviators they had the best record in MLB or in the minor leagues in the first half. They have not done very well in the second half, but granted, a lot of their guys got called up. They have a losing record right now in the second half of the season. They're 30-36. They're 12 games back. The minor league is weird. So they do like a first half winner that if you win the first half, you can clinch a playoff spot. But then they have a second half winner too. So it's kind of weird.
That's interesting. So as long as you play well in one of the halves of the season, you got to the playoffs.
Pretty much, yeah. It's weird. Like, overall, they're 79-62. They're 1 game back first because they did so well in the first half. They were 49-26 in the first half of the season, so they were pretty good. But keep in mind, all those guys that were carrying them got called up to the A's because the A's are just playing whoever at this point. So I think they're kind of cooled off. If you live in Vegas and you haven't been to an Aviator game yet, go. They're a lot of fun, especially with the weather cooling off. You get this time of year too. You can probably see some guys rehabbing from other teams. I think when I went, I saw Yu Darvish pitch. When I went last year, I saw Blake Snell pitch when he was with San Fran. So
yeah, and Las Vegas ballpark is beautiful too. So that alone, and food, drinks, it's a good time. So if you're in Vegas and you're visiting or whatever, go check out an Aviator game if they're still playing because it's worth it.
So Aaron, are you gonna? Who do you think wins the fight this weekend between Canelo and Crawford?
I already said I'm not a boxing guy, but I'd like to see Canelo take it. I think it'd be good. Like I said, I feel like it's probably going to be a good fight. I do think it'll probably go the distance because both fighters are both great in their own aspects. Obviously Crawford has a strong punch, but Canelo lands a lot of shots. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I'd like to see Canelo win. How about you?
I think it's like you mentioned. I think it's going to go to distance. I think that there's too much entertainment value on the line for it to be a quick fight. So I think there's going to be a little showmanship in that aspect. But I can definitely see. I like Canelo also. I like Crawford. What's the line? Have you seen the line on that fight? What's the line on it?
I haven't seen. Let me check and see real quick.
I'm interested to see what it is because I would assume Canelo's favored, right?
You would think so. Okay, so according to CBS Sports.
Hold on, I just pulled it. DraftKings Canelo's minus 175.
Okay, so yeah, so there you go. So we got Canelo as the sportsbook favorite. So, like I said, I think it will go the distance, and I think it's going to be a great fight. It's just really going to come down to the decision on how each round goes. So,
don't judge me for saying this. I'm more interested to see what kind of show Vegas puts on, because obviously boxing in Vegas is a historic thing. There's always been major fights here, but I want to see the type of show that they put on in Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of the fights that normally come to Vegas are at the MGM Grand. So like this is gonna be kind of one for the books because this is the first fight in Allegiant, isn't it? For boxing.
Yep, it's the first boxing fight or UFC style fight at Allegiant Stadium. So I'm very interested to see like the Super Bowl they put on a show. So I'm very interested to see what they do for a boxing fight like this, because you got to think they got to make it entertaining. And the undercard's good, but I mean everyone's gonna want to watch Canelo and Crawford. And what kind of theatrics are they gonna put on? What is the ring entrances look like for each one? I think it's gonna be.
It's definitely gonna be very interesting. And then obviously you're gonna have the Raiders platform. Are they gonna have a superstar artist perform during the fight, or before the fight, or after the fight? Like what's gonna happen? It's gonna be interesting to see. I'm with you. I'm definitely looking forward to the show aspect of the fight as well, not just the fight alone. I mean, obviously,
because if you remember when they put the UFC inside the Sphere, that was awesome. So I'm very interested to see like how they like Dana, because it is Dana White as the promoter. So how does he piggyback off what UFC did in the Sphere now he has a bigger platform. There's probably going to be. I mean, for a Raider game, it holds about 61. So I would assume with boxing, it probably holds 75 to 80 in there. So it's going to be.
Got to think of all the seats that they're going to have on the floor as well. So yes, I mean it could be so loud in that place. Like it's going to be, wow. I just bet the atmosphere alone is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'll be on the East Coast by the time that fight starts, so. I'll be interested. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to stay up because it's not supposed to start till 9 p.m. Vegas time. So it'll be midnight. It'll be midnight when I'm in New Hampshire. So I'm going to stay up and watch it anyway. It's going to be a great fight.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to watch it too. And we suggest that all of you watch it as well. Like I said, y'all want to follow our picks, as we always say.
I suggest that you have a pint with your parlays on the fight, just so.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, go which way you want to go. But as always, we thank you all for watching. Follow our picks if you want. Post your own picks. We'd like to see what you guys like. Mike, you got anything else?
If you guys don't ever catch our picks on our show, always check out our Instagram. Twitter, I miss sometimes on posting our picks on, but I always post them on Instagram. So follow us on Instagram at Pints and Parlays Podcast. All of our picks are always there. We'll always have clips of our picks on there as well. So Instagram is where we're the most active. Obviously, follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. But if you missed something, feel like you forgot something, always check Instagram. That's where everything's going to be.
All right, guys. We enjoyed it. Hope y'all enjoyed it. And as always, enjoy your pints.